your job and spend the next 4 years of your life working out how to restore a rusty old narrowboat that wasn't meant to be rusty when we purchased it 3 years ago. Yeah, we were meant to become continuous cruisers forever and just work out how to make money en route, but so far, no cruising as of yet. The boat came with a massive leak under the floorboards, along with lots of other problems, and now we're shamefully lumbered with the complete rebuild of this narrowboat. But unshamefully, we can turn this into our dream home now, so it's going to be a much, much nicer narrowboat. The boat's name is the Whistling Wombat, and in the last episode, the narrowboat failed its MOT, that's the BSS. So we've been advised on 7 errors of the narrowboat, 7 fails that we need to try and correct before rebooking it in a couple of weeks. My name's Chrissy Crobot, and I'll be taking you into the gas locker today to sort out all the problems in there, and the lovely Becca Crobot will be sorting out the problems we had with the solar panel installation. We are Chris and Bex, we are the Nomadic Crobot. A new day, new problems to solve on the Whistling Wombat. And yeah, I woke up to some sort of rattling going on. Turns out it was Bex trying to correct our first failure. What's going on?
Oh God! Gave me a fright.
The little gas pipe that runs along the back here, it's got a bit of a gap behind it. Just needs a little bit of wood on there, and this pipe to be secured onto the little piece of wood.
Just trying to work out what sort of little size lump of wood will fit in the gap, and then we'll just oil it to protect it, and then glue it onto that back wall, and then we can attach our pipe clip to it.
It's in my area. So we'll start on the little pipe at the back there.
We all know that Chris always complains about me hanging on to things, but there is a reason for this, and this reason has come into fruition today, because I've just found this like manky old shelf that we used to have, and I knew it had like hardwood edges, so I thought it'd be quite a good little piece of wood to use in the gas locker. So I've just deconstructed it. It's already varnished, so we don't have to worry about that. Just chop a little bit off, sink it down behind there, attach our gas pipe. Job's a good. So I'll just chop it a bit smaller because it's a bit big at the minute. It doesn't need to be that long. See how smooth that was? Sorry. I can't pick up a power tool and not do that.
No.
Something seriously wrong there. Rub some glue on and hope for the best.
I don't quite know how I feel about Bex messing with my gas locker. Because so far I've done everything in there, and now she's started to do a little bit on it. And, you know, it's always a thing I've had over her. So
it's time for a new gas locker ruler. Coming for it. Coming for the throne.
So I've just picked up this all-purpose glue so we can stick it to the wood and the steel of the narrowboat.
So
it's gonna white spirit the area that we're gonna glue it onto, get it all nice and clean behind. We don't want any excuses for the glue not to asphyxiate itself to the Whistling Wombat.
always point the tube away from you whilst opening and don't squeeze.
So don't squeeze.
Only joking, squeezed.
Okay, get blobbing. That'll soak into the wood, won't it?
Yeah, it's like snot, doesn't it?
That's it, girl. Okay, so it's a lovely hot day here on the marina. That shouldn't take long to dry at all, and then we'll come on to our special clip that'll hold the gas pipe in position.
Got a little clippy whippy here.
It does seem to be one of these new rules that they've brought in on the BSS. Every year they throw a whole load of new rules into the bin of BSS ruling. Makes a huge difference, this, doesn't it?
There we go. Done.
And that's how you do it. Crobot styling. Just because I've done so much.
Gave me moral support.
1 down, 6 to go.
Right guys, so one of the jobs that came up on the BSS list of failures was that the solar panels weren't secured down. Now upon having a closer look, one of them is actually attached down, and the other one, its screws have just come out because the holes are actually already there in place. The screws must have just wiggled their way out at some point. So I'm just going to pop a couple of bolts through there and hopefully that should be job done. So as you can see, there's like a lip running on the underside of the solar panel. Please excuse all the filth under here. It's a bit of an awkward jobby because the bolts have to go in under the sort of solar panels, so I'm going to have to try and wedge it up just so I can actually get my hand in and bolt the thing through. Simple job, but it might be a little bit difficult to execute, I think. Look what I've just spotted. A cheeky little screw that's come out. Probably not quite appropriate for the job anyway. Out with the old, in with the new. Just pop that little fellow through there, and I'll do the same on this side. Now I've just got to try locate the holes on the boat. Now for the tricky bit. Okay, we are through, so now I've just got to try and cram my hand underneath to get the nut on. So fiddly, I just need, once you get that first bit of thread on, it'll be fine. One down, one to go. And there we have it, all fixed. It's not going anywhere. Took 15 minutes, so all in all, not a bad outcome, and it's another little one ticked off the list, so just a few more and then we should fly through that BSS. Can't say that was particularly conducive to repairing my neck, but hey ho, it's done, that's the main thing.
2 down, 5 to go. Okay, so next up, let's correct the hoses in my beloved gas locker. These little gas hoses, they've all got little cracks on them. They're just a bit old, really. What's in there?
So in here we have our new gas hoses, and I have to say, I'm going to take this moment, and I'm not paid or anything, this is not a paid promotion, but to recommend these guys, BSS, because they're fab, like really reasonably priced, and I ordered them like one afternoon and they were there the next morning. I couldn't believe it, so brilliant.
And we were told by Dan, a lovely BSS guy, he was a lovely guy, wasn't he? He's cool, that not to go on Amazon really to get them because they're all cheap on there. These are a little bit more expensive, I thought, but they're of a far better quality. Yeah, BSS is the way to go. How much were they for 2?
So I think they're about £9 something each. I can't exactly remember. It was about 20 something quid in total.
Shall we open the box?
Let's do it.
Use your fingers. They've got a little claw. They're little claws, aren't they?
I'll use my talons.
I like the way we've bigged them up before even getting them out and having a look at them. They're amazing quality, guys. Look at that hose.
Sexy.
Ooh.
Everything about my hose is sexy.
It's a little bit. We've got 2 of them, haven't we? So let's get them on and get that ticked off the list.
So the gas locker. Nothing.
Put the roller nose down, girl. It's not time for roller nosing, it's time for
Hose nosing.
Hang on, unwrap it. Be better without the skin on.
150 years ago, hardly anyone in Europe had ever seen a living African elephant. And then an enormous male arrived. And his celebrity status took him across the globe.
Let's get in the gas locker before I break this blooming thing.
Millions flocked to see him during his lifetime.
Right, anyway, back on with the show, eh?
Just give me a minute to compose myself.
Apart from doing that today, what was my funniest moment today?
Yeah, Chris, where do Iranians come from?
Urania, innit?
Oh yeah, that old chestnut, Irania.
Okay, so we need to try and work out. Bex, we're trying to be professional
Sorry.
here, okay?
Right,
There's
okay,
so many
yeah.
narrowboat channels that are doing really well because they're professional. And we've got to try and be a little bit more professional to sort of keep up with them, you know?
Okay.
Do you guys have a bit of a nightmare trying to work out which way they come off, even retightening it even harder.
This is the weird thing about gas bottles. It's always lefty-loosey, righty-tighty, but gas bottles go the other way. They just throw that at you and you're like...
Oh yeah, I'm getting good at it, man. Also, be careful because little spiders love this area, so you don't want to get one of their little bodies on your body. Yeah, because they're scary and stuff.
Or in your body.
That's the second stage, but first stage would be it just sort of climbing on you a little bit. Because obviously they're scary and that. Some of you might want to attempt one at a time. If you're a show-off like me, you do too. The vessel is currently gasless now. We've got a gasless vessel.
It's alright, you're a gassy vessel. So he said our little one of these was pretty ancient, but it was doing its job, so no need to replace it.
So up the top here, I don't know if you guys can see, it's just full of eggs. And inside those eggs, we have little spider babies that grow.
Little spider hatchlings waiting to just crawl into all your orifices.
Which hole do you think would be the worst for it to crawl into, do you reckon? And lay its egg.
Well, I know which one I would say, but I'm going to say something cleaner, which would be your ear, maybe. I reckon ear would be
I reckon ear would be...
You could hear them, like...
In your mouth, you could sort of tongue it and squash it a little bit, maybe. In your nose, you could blow it. But ear, you can't do anything, can you? I think ear would be pretty bad.
Just saying.
What, mine?
Yeah.
Get in the nozzle.
Well.
Get in the front. Well, then you just wee it out, don't you? Wee the nest out. Anyway, it's getting vulgar now. Let's get these things off, eh?
It's all this talk of hoses, I think.
That's tightening it, I reckon. Yeah.
Lefty-loosey. That makes it even more confusing. So on one end of the hose, it's traditional, lefty-loosey. On the other end, it's the opposite.
And we're giving one special viewer the opportunity to win both our hoses, aren't we?
This useless.
Useless?
Well, no.
Oh, with ease, man. I reckon, you know, I reckon I could be a real narrowboater one day. Sort of fake narrowboater at the moment. Well, no, we are narrowboaters, aren't we?
I think in many ways this is more real narrowboating than anything else.
Okay, 2 up, straight on eBay. Our lovely new one. And then going on well easy, man. Becca told me a little trick that you tighten it quite tight and then pull it back a little bit, don't you?
Yeah.
So really tight and then a little. So maybe like that.
Stops them getting proper stuck on.
You might want to do one at a time. If you're like me, you could do 2.
Just looking at the old hose, and I'm not sure if this is the date, but it says September 85 on there. They're like as old as us.
Okay, that's 3 jobs down, 4 to go. The Crobot pass.
Pass!
Who does that belong to more now though? Because I've sort of put the gas hoses on, you've put the little bit at the back, I've done the bottom. I think I've done more in the gas locker than Bex has done actually.
I bought the hoses.
Catching up.